Tonight, Vice President Harris standing side by side with Ukraine's President Zelenskyy.
My support for the people of Ukraine is unwavering.
Accusing former President Trump of wanting Ukraine to surrender.
There are some in my country who would instead force Ukraine to give up large parts of its sovereign territory. They are not proposals for peace. Instead, they are proposals for surrender.
Late today, Trump responding.
It's not a surrender. What my strategy is to save lives. I'll meet with President Zelenskyy and we'll see what happens, but I believe I can work that out.
And saying he can still work with Iran, despite his campaign saying U.S. intel briefed him on Iranian assassination threats. Trump pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal in 2018. Would you try to make a deal with Iran of some kind if you were reelected?
Sure, I would do that. Sure. I believe in getting. It doesn't matter. I have a great memory, but it's a memory that wants to serve the people.
Meanwhile, the former president tonight slamming Harris the night before her second trip to the southern border in 4 years.
Kamala Harris will be visiting the southern border that she has completely destroyed.
Trump blaming Harris for the record over 10 million migrant crossings since she and President Biden took office.
She keeps talking about how she supposedly wants to fix the border. Why didn't she fix it almost 4 years ago?
Harris overnight dismissing Trump's complaints after he directed Republicans to block a bipartisan border bill this year, which he said wasn't tough enough.
He killed a bill that would have actually been a solution because he wants to run on a problem.
After his meeting with Zelenskyy, Trump rallies in the critical battleground state of Michigan, where absentee ballots were mailed out today. Lester?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.